I really am so genuinely, really deeply grateful to all of my teachers. And one of my teachers that has impacted me the most, and even though he's left the world, he's passed away, is deep in my heart, and that's my father. So the story about my father has to do with him driving himself, really pushing himself to get out of Brooklyn. He was a boy in a 4-person family who was surrounded by other Jews on one side of the street and Italians on the other side of the street. So one side Jewish, one side Italian. And he found himself literally walking down the street having to fight from time to time. And this, when I found out this about my father, I was stunned, because my father doesn't even speak in a volume of voice that's this loud. He's a quiet, he was reserved, and much more conservative in expression than me. And for many moments in my growing up, I didn't necessarily feel connected with my father, except in rare moments. One of those moments had to do with the Jewish holidays on Yom Kippur and in Rosh Hashanah, where we would stay home from school, and he would take the day off from his workaday world in the advertising business on Newbury Street. And he would talk to us about what we were grateful for in the past year, and he actually taught me how to ask for forgiveness. And it was very awkward, but he would teach us year after year on those special days. And as an adult, I became more present to slowing down in asking for apologies, asking for forgiveness, and receiving the forgiveness of other people. One day, as I was doing a fundraiser in memory of my father, who came from those Brooklyn streets where Jews were on one side and the Italians were the other, and he grew up in a tenement building of 200 other families. When he became more wealthy and was able to live and raise me in a town, Weston, Massachusetts was its name, he never forgot his roots of where he came from. And when he retired, fair housing was one of his many community service nonprofits that he would work in. And so when he passed away, we decided to raise funds for the Len Kanzer Memorial Fund for Housing. And I entered into a conversation with one of his very wealthy, successful business associates. And as we were talking about Len stories, his friend leaned forward to me and said, "You know the thing about your father? He was an Olympic listener." And that cut me to the quick. And the tears started coming down my face. And I remembered that for all the years I was judging my father as being too busy for me and not being as expressive and joyful as I wanted to see him. He still is living with me as an Olympic listener. And I hope that I bring some of that Olympic listening to you and everybody you care about.